everybody. Because folks asked me for another video like this, a mini practice, I'm gonna give you one for the shoulders. The last one I did was on the hips. This one could be amazing prehab, rehab for wrist stuff, injuries, and shoulder stuff, so shoulder stabilization. It could be an amazing beginning to a vinyasa class, anything with sun salutations and arm balances or handstands in it. This is what I use for my handstand practice and also for prehab for my wrists for rock climbing. But it could really be something that you use if you spend a lot of time on a computer or texting. This is super great for that too. So all you need today is a yoga brick or block, maybe something to sit on. I'm gonna sit kneeling, you can sit however you like. Hold it on its narrow edge like that. And then take your arm forwards, collarbone wide, upper back working a little bit so your shoulder's in the middle of the joint. Make sure you're holding it at the very end of the block so that you have some airspace here to work into this full wrist flexion, and then you can bring it up and go into extension, kind of trying to go for a 90-degree with your hand and your forearm, and try not to bend your elbow to compensate. So keep your elbow straight. I'm just going to do this 3 times with you, but if you want to take your time with it, do this longer, and I would totally suggest adding a load to this. So if you're working with rehabbing your wrist, maybe holding a 3 to 5 pound weight and doing all of these things with that. So that's our first one, and then you can come up to a kneeling or be again sitting. Take your arm behind you, open your shoulder in the middle, and then just doing that same thing behind you. So you may be working a little more with the ulnar part of the hand, the pinky finger side, and then you can go beyond that neutral and then all the way through that flexion, maybe even until the block is touching your forearm. Hold that muscularly at the end range, relax it, and switch directions. Okay, so now we're gonna take the elbow, pin it to the side, widen collarbone here, and work the upper back a bit, so shoulder blades on the back. And then without moving the shoulder, just from the elbow crease down, rotate. So this is this pronation and supination movement. And notice where the end range is for you as you go towards midline and down, and then up and away. And hit that end range and muscularly work it for a sec, right? And then relax and switch directions. You can also do this with your breath, really working that connection between your breath and your movement, which can be soothing for your nervous system. And then you can take this out, straight arm. Again, elbow straight, shoulder plugged, core in, upper back working a little, and then just work this here, that rotational movement. And you might notice that your shoulder gets a little involved. That's great, allow it to. But you might feel that you have a little more range. And also I'm kind of sometimes cocking up my wrist. So try to keep the wrist, the hand aligned with the forearm. So you're not doing any side to side movements and working in those compensatory patterns. Nice, you can let that go. And we'll do the other side. So let's begin holding the end of the block. So plug the shoulder in, nice posture, and we'll do that extension and flexion. Really, here you can think a little bit more of the thumb side of your wrist, and then you can take it behind you, and maybe you want to come up for it. Core in, shoulder back, and work that. Go to the end range, muscularly work it, relax, and then switch. So really mindfully moving through the whole range. So good. Just seeing the differences on both sides too. Your dominant arm, maybe there's injuries that you're working with. And giving some love here to the wrist and the shoulder. Then we're going to pin the elbow and open the collarbone, and then rolling in and out This one's a little more limited because you're really isolating the lower arm. Again, I'm just watching where I want to cheat. So the movement of the wrist, try to keep it aligned so there's no kink in the hose. Yeah, and then you can take it out forwards, plug back, and your shoulder might be rotating a bit. Let it. Chest lifted, core engaged a little, upper back working, chin up. And work the end range, relax, and switch directions. Relax, and just see what you get there, what you're pressing up against, and then you can let that go. This time, I'm going to take the block in front and lean forwards so that the palm is facing down, so your forearm's rolling in a bit. Pin the forearm, so you're trying not to move so much from the forearm here, and then really fan your fingers, like really open them up, and place your palm towards the block. Try to go for a 90-degree and try not to curl your fingers in. So really working that opening. Get out of the texting fingers, and then you can swish to one side and then go into a stop sign. Try to get that 90-degree as best you can. Open the fingers, open the space in between them, swish to the other side, and you're kind of circumducting. You can switch directions. If you feel a real sticky part, go into it, relax a little, and keep moving. Maybe one more rotation. Nice. You could also do this holding a weight, but let that go for now. Rotate your wrist and switch sides. So starting with the forearm down, palm down, forearm rolling in a little bit. Fan the fingers like you mean it. Swish to one side, make a stop sign, open the fingers, try to go for the 90-degree. And I notice this side is way different. I dislocated my elbow on this side, so just feeling that difference and tension, maybe protection. So we're really going to go into the stop sign here. Really try to open the fingers, and one more rotation. Nice. You can take your hands together and give a little figure eight. Whichever hand is leading the figure eight, switch so the other hand is leading. A little bit of brain candy there for you. Getting out of those patterns. And then we're going to take the block. So now what I want you to do is you can come up in this or stay kneeling or cross-legged, but take that out forwards and kind of pull the block apart. But go for straight elbows, biceps are squeezing in, and then we're going to go for this overhead movement. So take it all the way up, and maybe your chest has come forwards into a little spinal extension. Let's close the ribs so we're not compensating in the spine. Take the abdominals back, and then elevate the scapula. So shoulder blades go wide and lift, yep. And then try to take the arms back a bit. So maybe you're hitting some resistance there. If there's some jamming in the shoulder, really continue the lift of your shoulder blades, and then you can bounce back into this, pulling apart, straight elbows. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chin up a little, take a breath. And take that all the way down. So maybe you roll your shoulders a bit there. And now we'll take the block forwards with bent arms. And this can really stabilize our shoulders by holding the block. This time we're going to squeeze it instead of pull it apart, compress it. And then see if you can bring your elbows together. So shoulders are a bit back here and then a little depressed down the back. And then with that, see if you can squeeze your elbows together and then come back out and squeeze and come back out. Nice. So with that little bit of the squeeze, so you're working pecs, and then you're going to start to bring it up. So again, you might tension through your spine, that's okay, but let's try to minimize it. So close the ribs, elevate the shoulder blades, a little squeeze of the elbows, and take that back. You can do slow, maybe up and down movements, controlled, pressing in. That slow downward movement too, with the squeeze in, the adduction, can be great for your rotator cuff. Maybe with your breath a few times. 5. Chin up. 4. I feel like I need that reminder these days. 3. 2. Squeeze in. Take a breath there. If you're a yoga teacher, this is forearm balance, Panchamayurasana, just without your whole body weight on it. So make sure you prep yourself nice and well for that posture. Exhale, come on down. You can let the block go and just give your shoulders a little roll. And then I just want to show you a little bit of scapular push strength and serratus engagement. So these muscles here, we're going to try to wrap them. So it's a little bit of flexed position towards the front of the body. So you can come like into a knee plank, or for sure, you can come into a plank and squeeze your inner thighs in. Legs are engaged. And then sag into your shoulder blades like they want to kiss. And then push away so that you get the wrapping, strong feeling here in the outer shoulders, and the shoulder blades come away from the spine, so that's called protraction. So let's try for 10. So drop, straight arms, wrap in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really push the ground away. 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it at the top. Take a breath in. Tippy toes. And out. Take your knees down. So you can come down hips to heels, stack your hands, or maybe if your forehead reaches, you can take your arms back and just really lazy in the shoulders. Take a full cycle of breath. Inhale, calm. Exhale, out, stress. And come on up. So if you stayed to the end of this video, feel free to share this. Instagram doesn't circulate these longer videos, so give this gift to people. And if you're a teacher, this is, like I said, great start to your class, or I hope this supports your shoulders to do whatever you love to do. Peace.